The action of the federal government is totally condemnable in trying to abandon the negotiations that commenced already and not allowing that process to go through. We had filed an action on the 8th of September before this same National Industrial Court, asking the court to compel the government to respect and enforce the agreements that is pending and binding on the parties, because we're not giving a good impression to the entire world. If you willingly enter into agreements and then for one reason or the other, one party to that agreement is not willing to abide by it and is trying to use force, and that's why it's important that we believe that the court would intervene to ensure that that agreement remains enforceable. And then once that is done, we can then talk about how lecturers can go back to the universities and then the schools will open, because the state of the universities presently is totally decrepit. I am working with a lot of alumni in my own former university, building hostels, doing a lot of things to ensure that the welfare of students and lecturers is something that can be proud of. So we can't allow a system whereby government abandons its own responsibilities, and then the money that is supposed to be used for infrastructure and the education of our children are being embezzled. How much is ASUU asking for? What does it take to build the universities? So we believe that those of us who went through those universities, it was because of the commitment of government that we were able to attend those schools and we came out.
Of counsel to the federal government, Tijani Ghazali, a senior advocate of Nigeria, opposes SERAP's application to consolidate the suit. He told the judge that SERAP's application was premature as the case was billed for mention on Monday.
I believe all of you here are employees of your various organizations. You can't dictate to your organization how you will be paid. Your organization can decide to give you a check, can decide to pay directly into your account. One of their major issues is the issue of payment through either IPPIS or UTAS. We are saying that that cannot be dictated to government. We reserve the right to pay the way we believe is most appropriate in the circumstance. The 2009 settlement has been resettled in 2020. They are avoiding that of 2020 and always talking about the 2009. By the time we file all the necessary things, you will have it to see.
But the judge ruled that the suit is not ripe for consolidation by SERAP and that he was only presiding over the matter as a vacation judge. Meanwhile, counsel to ASUU, Mr. Femi Falana, argues that he was aware of the efforts by lawyers to file court papers in the suit on Monday.
We have no business coming here because the matter ought to have been resolved by now. And the government has just set up another committee of 14 members. That was done last week. So we're expecting their report. So when we're just suddenly told that the government had rushed to the court. I hope it's not a reaction to the suit by SERAP. What the law envisaged was that if you didn't work, you shouldn't be paid. But if I'm saying I am going to work, you know in the past, when ASUU declared strike, the members always covered lost ground, and they're going to do so this time. So there shouldn't be any blackmail here. Because when the government says there's no money, but you know there's money in the country. But it's a question of priority. Has the government given attention to education? And we must run a country where agreements are observed by governments under the rule of law. Because once the government has signed an agreement with ASUU and is registered in the Ministry of Labor, it's binding on the government. But the government has a way of violating its own commitment all the time. And that is why you have these strikes.